why it's impossible to make money in Forex. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about why it is impossible to make money in Forex. This came from a subscriber. The subscriber just literally said he finds it impossible to make money in Forex. And I'm pretty sure there's some of you out there who also feel the same. So that's why in today's video, I'll be sharing 5 reasons why it's impossible for you to make money in Forex. So one of the reasons, and they are in no particular order, is you are trading the wrong pair at the wrong time. So why are you trading GBPUSD during the A session? It's so important for you guys to pick the right pair. So for me, what I do is I trade GBPUSD or EURUSD, and I trade them during the London and in the New York session because I know those pairs are quite active. And I'm not out there trying to trade all the pairs. I'm not out there trying to trade every single pair. Like I said in my previous videos, I used to trade tons of different pairs at the same time. Although it worked sometimes, it didn't work all the time, and I took big hits to the account. So I was never able to make profit trading all these different pairs. So what I decided to do, I decided to home in on 2 pairs. Those are going to be my 2 main pairs, and that was GBPUSD and EURUSD. And then normally what I would do is I'll pick the one that I feel is moving correct, that I feel is actually moving out of those 2, and I'll trade one of those. Just like for the past couple of weeks, what pair has been moving out of GU and EURUSD? It's not been EURUSD. EURUSD had the brakes put on it. It wasn't moving. It's been consolidating for weeks. And if you was going to trade something like that, you know you have to take your TPs quick. A lot of my mentees know why they would have been in EURUSD. Stomaching that whole consolidation would have been an absolute madness. And then just moving away from the session timings, if a pair's consolidating, why are you trading that pair? Why are you trading that pair? You want to be trading the pair that is moving. So if you traded EU during this time, you would have had to take your TPs quite quickly. Whereas compared to GBPUSD, that was allowed to roam freely. So here's EURUSD, and here's the ideal place that you would have wanted price to get to within this imbalance over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark it up real quick. This is your imbalance, but look what happened before they dug deep into this imbalance over here. So look at, they consolidated for about 15 days. So if you have established that price is consolidating, why on earth would you be looking to trade this pair? Price is going sideways, and if you're not looking to take your P's, take your profit as soon as they manipulate the lows and the highs, then guys, look, you should not be trading consolidation. But when you compare this to GBPUSD, price spent just a few days consolidating, and then it pushed off into its imbalance over here. Guys, what pair would have been ideal to trade? It would have been GBPUSD, because the amount of psychology needed to be in a pair that's consolidating for 15 days will literally drive you crazy. That's why it's so important to zoom out, look at whether a pair is actually moving or trending, and you pick the one that is moving. The second reason why it will be impossible to make money in Forex is because you can't stop trading. You done hit TP already. Why are you trading for? There's no reason for you to be trading after you've hit TP. I'm not saying, like, for example, let's just say you took partials on the trade, and so you have like maybe 10% or 20% running still. I'm not talking about managing that. I'm talking about you're placing new trades. There's no reason to be placing new trades. Some of you feel a certain type of way when you're not in a trade. You start itching, you start sweating. Comment down below whether you've been in that predicament where you're not in a trade, but you're thinking about the trade. For some of you people out there, it's like you have to be in the trade. You don't have to be in the trade every single day. If you notice that one day pairs don't move correct on that day, or pairs are pretty slow on that day, then don't trade that day. I get a lot of DMs on Instagram, and my Instagram is MHU_FX. I know there's tons of fakes out there doing that absolute madness with all kinds of variations to the name, but it's MHU_FX. I get tons of messages on Instagram, and in those messages, it says that they had caught a certain trade, had won a certain amount of money, they kept on trading, and then they blew it all. And really and truly, it's only yourself to blame. And that's because you have no discipline. And the thing is, you could be done trading on Monday, maybe Tuesday, when it can be whatever day, or it can be within a session and you're done trading. You shouldn't be adding more positions after you're done trading, because when you add more positions, you have a chance of losing, and that's losing some of that profit. You don't want to give anything back to the markets. You want to secure and hold on to what you got. A third reason why it's impossible to make money in Forex is because you're in the losing mindset. You never stop trading when you was winning. You stop trading when you was losing. When you constantly put yourself in that environment when you're ending off your trading day or your trading week in a loss all the time, you become accustomed to that, and that becomes the norm for you. So what you're actually doing is you're actually building up the trading muscle memory for taking losses. You're only done trading when you've taken a huge loss or you've blown your account. You want to get out of that mindset, and one of the ways to get out of that mindset is to have a winning trade and then stop, and then get yourself into the mindset of stopping after you've won. For example, on Tuesday you took 3 trades, you lost 2 trades, and you won 1 trade, but the R was so significant that you was actually up in profit. You should be done trading and stop it right there. Get yourself into that winning mindset and winning mentality, and come back the next time, whether it's it's the next day or whether it's the next week. And with those profits, actually withdraw them. I can't say enough. Look, it's not even profit until you've actually taken it out of your account, really. So withdraw the profits. Don't be leaving it in there. People message me on Instagram and they say, oh, so I've just secured the bag on this trade. I'm up a so-and-so amount. They're over the moon. And then they ask me for advice on what to do next. I say, withdraw some, keep some. So with the money that you withdraw, you want to either invest it or spend it and have a good time. Or some of you like to save it. And then with the money that you keep in your account, use that to compound your Forex account. The fourth reason why it's impossible to profit from the Forex market is you need to set yourself realistic TPs. I can't tell you the amount of times I've heard of people having TPs and the TP is just way over there. It's just way too far. You need to set realistic TPs. One of my mentees right now, whenever they jump into a trade, the first place that they can spot liquidity, they are taking TP, taking something off the table and letting the rest run. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is instead of going for those TPs that are on the other side of the world, how about you go for the nearest liquidity, take that, take partials, and then let the rest ride. And the reason I'm saying that is because you need to get yourself into a habit of taking partials. This is one of the things I struggled with back in the day. I would never take partial profits. I thought partial profits was a sign of weakness. I thought if you took partial profits, you weren't even confident in your trading ability. I thought all those things. I really don't know why I thought those things. I had some crazy thinking in my early days of trading. Don't be that person who just wants to hold onto a full position all the time. You're going to play yourself sometimes. Sometimes price is going to go close to your TP and then it will reverse on you and take you out. We had people in my mentorship that went through that this week. It was literally one pip away from TP. It was teasing like never before and the thing came back and it hit their stop profit. So I'm referring to GBP/USD. So there was trendline liquidity here. This was on the 11th of August. You can see they ran that liquidity pool up here. So with this push up, they ran that liquidity pool. They were waiting for one more pip just above these highs just to take TP. And then instead of price digging up into here before dropping, literally it just drops after they had accumulated orders here. So now step back from all of this and then ask yourself, would you have been happy to take partial profits near about that point and then price reverses on you and hits your TP? Or would you be happy with not taking any partial profits and price hitting your TP? So that's why it's so important to take partial profits, because normally when you don't take partial profits and it comes back and hits you, you're going to be fuming. Listen, let's be real. You're going to be fuming. You don't want to put yourself in that mindset where you're angry with the markets and then you go back into the markets with that same anger. You're just going to lose more money. You start cussing the markets, you start doubting yourself, start doubting your strategy, start doubting everything to do with trading, all because of something that you've done. This is the fifth reason why it's impossible to make money in Forex, is because you did not get any kind of education. Family, there is education out there. Whether you want to jump on my mentorship or my course, or even if it's a free course, but it's a really good course, you need to get some kind of education before you jump into the markets. It really does baffle me with the amount of people who are trading live funds, but they've gone through no education. They don't even understand how the markets are moving, but they're trading live funds. It's so important to get some kind of education. Even myself, when I started off, I got education. I didn't step into this game with no education. I got education first, even though it wasn't the best education, but I took some of the meat I got from that education and then I expanded on that. But what I'm trying to say is first, you need to get some kind of education where you have learned how the markets are moving so you can actually develop some kind of strategy. And the last reason why it's impossible to make money in Forex is because you are afraid to enter a trade. You've done all the hard work. And now it's time to get active. It's time to enter a trade. The moments before you enter that trade, you are panicking, you are sweating, you are doubting yourself, you're doubting your strategy, you're doubting the fact that it's going to hit TP, and you're afraid that you're going to have a loss. You are afraid of losing. And so what that does is it normally paralyzes you, and then you actually don't enter a trade. And then guess what? You then see it go off in your direction and then you beat up yourself. Once again, this is like I said before, if you constantly put yourself in that situation, you are developing a trading muscle memory that paralyzes you before entering a trade. And that will constantly be something that goes up against you whenever you're about to enter a trade. It's going to hinder you from placing trades. You're going to miss out on those good opportunities. And when you finally muster up the courage and the strength to actually trade, is a loss. Then once again, you go into a spiral of doubting yourself, doubting your strategy, and doubting all of that. So those are my 6 reasons why it's impossible to be profitable trading Forex. If you're experiencing any of those 6 things, you need to first acknowledge it and think about ways to overcome those barriers before you fall into a spiral of blown accounts.